Happy to be here.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Chosen by Jesus podcast. I am your host, Kelley Tyan.
And I am Tyan.
You're so soft-spoken.
I know, guys. The person in the audio studio or whatever this is, he goes, I had to adjust the audio on your daughter like a lot. I try.
I'm like, speak up. You know, we're Italian, and I grew up Italian, and we talk loud. And then I have a daughter. I got a daughter over here she's
just like little Tinkerbell, okay?
Guys, if you didn't know her nickname, I'm just gonna tell you really quick. Taylor the Turtle. So she talks soft and she's slow.
If you didn't hear the introduction, I was 15 minutes late getting here. No,
the introduction? You mean that was the first episode?
Oh, my God.
Oh, boy. They're probably, they already know. 15 minutes late. Anyway, welcome to the show, you guys. We're so excited for a new episode to bring you more Jesus, more faith, more love, more joy, more peace, more comfort. What else? Happiness?
Happiness.
That's what you get when you run your life, your race, your journey with Jesus.
With God.
And we want to start today with, go ahead. You can introduce.
So today, let's start talking about kind of how we found our purpose within Christ. You know, everybody in life is searching for their purpose. Why are they here? What is my everyday, like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Now, let's talk about how we found ours through Christ and how special that is and how we hope you guys all find yours.
I love that because, so for me as a coach, I've been coaching women for 15 years and health and fitness and mindset and life and faith. And a lot of women, their first question to me is, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know my purpose, and I don't have clarity on that. And let me just tell you, and if you want me to start, I can. Yeah. I was that person for a long time, and I wasn't sure of my purpose. Now, I grew up as a Christian, as you know, if you've been following me, in a very strong, faith-fueled home with a mother who loved Jesus. She talked to Jesus, walked to Jesus. I mean, it was just crazy, like 24/7. It was an amazing, amazing experience. But, you know, we all have to find Jesus on our own. It's not up to your mother to, you know, we can show our children, but each of us individually, we have to find Jesus on our own relationship with him. And so as I grew up and became an adult, I had a few different careers.
I don't know, you're still working on it.
I'm still working on it. I'm so young, though. Thank God. But I had to find my way in life, and I tried a few avenues and I was searching, you know, for my purpose. Like, what am I supposed to be doing? Yeah. And I had a fitness business, which was my longest of the businesses that I was in, and it was 11 years, and I loved every minute of it, but I took that on for a very long time.
Though.
Very
Don't
successful.
Business.
Thank you. It was very successful, and I loved empowering women in their health and faith and, health and fitness in their physical bodies.
Right.
But deep down inside, I knew they were missing something that I had. And I was searching on how would I bring this to life. Fast forward, COVID happened. God had other plans for me. My fitness business went under.
Well, a brief pause. You had everything before COVID. You had, you know, in-person things, in-person events, classes. Everything was, you have to think again back to the God and his timing. Everything was come to Kelley's boot camp, you know, and then COVID. Okay, it shut down your whole business. You had to totally shift gears to some online, like you didn't know how to start.
I know, and I was at that point. If you go back on my Facebook page, it is funny. I did free classes on Facebook Live every single week.
Yes.
I'm over there doing the workouts. You'd be
like, can you come do a workout with me in the basement? I'd be like, oh, fine.
I'd have the cameras out, and I just wanted to continue empowering women so they can still be healthy while the world was shut down. But my mindset was, just stuck, and I was wondering, what's my purpose now, and what should I be doing? And for me, the way I found that clarity for me in what I was supposed to be doing was stopping everything and getting into prayer. Because at that point, the moment in life, what I was going to say is I had lost my mom to a sudden aneurysm. And it came as when I say a rock bottom moment for me, I mean, I've been through breast cancer. I've been through so many different things in my life. That was probably my worst rock bottom moment, because she was my best friend, my mentor, my coach, all the things I ever needed in one woman. She was that to me. And I lost her in a moment, and I lost a piece of myself. I lost half my heart. It was a really awful place to be. And we might get into that on another episode of what I actually went through, the depression, the grief. But through all of that, I got into deep prayer. And that was the only way for me to have comfort.
She taught you that.
She taught me that.
Right.
Thank you. She taught me to go to prayer, no matter what we're going through in life. Right. And that's what I did. I got really quiet. I started my room, my little prayer warrior room in the house.
The white room.
My white room. It's so cute and gorgeous, but it's sparkly too.
Yes,
I love it.
Love it.
And nobody really comes in there unless I invite them. You have to be invited though. Oh. I say, okay, Tony, come on in my room.
Come, let's read Jesus.
Let's read Jesus. They sit down in my chair, and I love it. But what I did was I found a room in my house that I wanted to be my prayer room, where I could get quiet with the Lord and read my Bible and really just surrender and say, where do you want me? What's next for me? What am I supposed to be doing? So number one, if you're unclear about the direction of your life, or maybe you're just feeling stuck, or you woke up and you're like, what have I been doing in the last 5 years, 10 years? You have no more life in you. Right. I highly urge you to find quiet time with Jesus right away. Yeah. He will answer. He will give you the next right step.
That's the thing, too. It's okay to give yourself time. Take a day. You don't always...
A day? I took 3 months.
I know, but think of everybody in life thinks they have to be constantly on the go and everything. Right. God wants you to give time to him. The more time you give him, the more he'll open up your eyes. The less time you give him, the more time you're wasting thinking you have all the right answers. But just like every 16-year-old girl that thinks they do, you don't. So really, it's true. Than later.
The more time, and there's a quote I love from Martin Luther King Jr. It's so good, and it resonated with me. I read it maybe 2 years ago, but he said, I am so busy that I must begin the first 3 hours of my day in prayer.
Yes.
Now think about that, people.
Right.
Martin Luther King Jr. said that he's so busy that he must begin his day in 3 hours of prayer. We think we don't even have 5 minutes. Right. I remember starting out in my Bible back in the day, when I was coming up and wanting to learn more about Jesus and my faith, and I'm like, okay, I don't really have time. I'm going to read one sentence.
That's like
I'd be reading one sentence.
The whole Bible in a month.
Yeah. I mean, there is a Bible reading in a year, but I thought I didn't have time. And I would read one sentence. And then I was like, okay, maybe today I can read a paragraph. Yeah. That's how I started my journey. And I don't know, you can share how you started yours when you got in the Word, but I went and I got quiet. Back to how I found clarity and my purpose. I got quiet with the Lord. I spent time with him day after day after day. They say that the more you read the Word, the more the Word gets into you. Yes. And I wanted the Word getting into me because I watched my mom, who suffered with rheumatoid arthritis. Yeah. It crushed her body physically, but that woman had peace and joy like no other person. Like beyond the healthiest person you know, she had the peace, the joy, and the comfort because the Word was inside her. It's alive and breathing. And when we spend time with Jesus, with God, our Father, who loves us so much, he will bring clarity.
Yes.
He will let you know what your gifts are,
Give you
what
peace.
your purpose is.
Yep.
And I was searching for that because after fitness, that's who I was. That's who I thought I was. The labels were on me. I was known as the fitness girl.
Right.
And I thought that's who I was. But Jesus says, wait a minute, you're a daughter of the King.
There's nothing wrong with that. So many
No,
fitness
there's nothing
women out
wrong with
there
that.
that is amazing, but you personally weren't fulfilled.
No.
You didn't feel
and I was
it.
at a standstill, and I knew there was more that God wanted me to do in my life. And in order for me to find it, I had to get quiet with him.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us your story of how you found your purpose?
So it's funny because when I know you, but listening to what you have to say, it reminds me so much of where my kind of mind was and how I came to this day and why I am the way I am today and my relationship with him. I would say, so I grew up similar to yourself where I was surrounded by going to Bible studies and growing up with a grandmother, her mother, to be as strong of a woman as she was with the severe health conditions that she was in, that was powerful in its own. But I didn't realize the impact and what I saw. I didn't really understand when I was a little girl seeing that, what it was going to do for me. So I would be like 8 years old. I'd be like, Grammy, can we go to the Natick Mall? Like, I'd always want to go shopping with her. And she'd have her wheelchair. My Grammy would have a migraine. She has rheumatoid arthritis. She couldn't feel. There wasn't a limb in her body that felt good. Let's put it that way. She every day put on a smile, and she was happy.
And a full face of makeup.
Full face. She couldn't go to the mailbox without her lipstick and her eyelashes.
Always eyelashes. Always eyelashes. And lipstick. And rouge. Oh, and
yes.
rouge.
Red lipstick,
and
rouge.
And rouge on her cheeks.
Yes. She would always tell us,
She'd
like,
say, Kelley,
always look great.
Put on your lipstick.
Look beautiful. Nice. So I looked at that, and I was like, wow. Like, I love this woman. My Grammy is somebody that I just love so much and look up to, and I would use that and be like, all right, if I have a headache or if I had soccer and my leg if I got hurt or something, I'd be like, my grandmother, and I always think of her. If she's going through this, then I'm fine. Okay, so fast forward now, we were about to graduate high school, and she passed away. She had an aneurysm.
Let's just tell them how, when she graduated, 3 weeks before Taylor graduated high school.
It was
She passed away May 24th.
Oh, Grappy.
She passed away May 24th.
Yes.
And you were graduating on stage June 3rd.
I couldn't even
It was a nightmare situation. Picture us. It was awful.
Didn't want to go to my high school graduation.
I didn't want to go to your high school graduation.
I didn't see my friends for months. I didn't know what to do with myself. I felt like my life was over. My Grammy passed away, guys, and I go, well, there goes my hero, the one person like yourself I leaned on for everything. I'd be getting yelled at by my parents and my Grammy. I would call. I'd be like, Grammy, what am I doing? I need help. Pray over me. I need those prayers that I never took for granted. She just always touched me. But I didn't have the same relationship that she did at that time. So fast track now, she's gone, and I was like, okay, I have big shoes to fill here. What am I going to do? So when I was in college, I looked at it as a time to focus on what I had and what my Grammy didn't have. What can I do to make myself better? Keyword that I was thinking of myself. So I started going to the gym. I would do the elliptical. I was eating tofu, thinking I was doing all the right things, and I started to feel good in my body. Don't get me wrong. I was getting into health, fitness. I started typing up a little fitness plan. I'm like, oh my God, I want every girl to look like this and feel a type of way, because I started feeling good in my body, and I was happy with my results. But I graduated college then, and I was like, something's still, I'm not feeling fulfilled. I go, now I have prayer. I feel great in my body, but there's something more that I should have to offer. And like similar to yourself, I thought I should have a fitness plan and help girls feel great about themselves, to help their attitudes and just their day-to-day. So many insecurities you see out there. And just a bit of a background is I quit social media when a little before I graduated college, just because I was like, I want to get to know myself. Like, there was just so much time that I had during COVID. I was looking on media, just nothing made sense to me. It wasn't, teach their own. Everybody's on it today, but I just was like, I'm not going to grow here. I'm going to constantly compare. What can I do? I took a break, guys, and
you took a break. How
4
many
years now?
she first of all, make sure you're following us on Instagram.
Yeah, now, guys, I'll be back on, but it's never been better.
But it's never been better.
I
and
found
I agree.
Jesus in that.
Yes.
So
Yes, you came off social as a young girl.
I did, as a 20-year-old.
I was shocked. I, as your mom, was like, are you sure?
Oh, my God.
You want to come
off?
off?
You go, do you delete your Instagram or just keep your account? I go, maybe I'll just...
I was wondering why you weren't following me, though.
No, but I needed time to be alone and to be in my thoughts.
Respect.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
So I took that time, and then me and you we would go to the gym in the morning. Now I have my first job and try to figure it out.
Well, this was after COVID, so you were still living at home.
I was living at home. This was the summer of 2020. 21.
21.
I graduated May of 21. I had my
Into 22, you were living at home.
Yes, so I had my first job. I got into I was going to go temp to perm. I had a very bad car accident at the end of 2021. That's when... So I was trying all the things, guys. I was into fitness. I go, maybe I'll start a fitness plan. I was going out every weekend, just getting just doing all the post-college things you do when you graduate. And I was so unfulfilled. And I was like, I could look the best, think I feel the best. I could see my abs for the first time. No, like seriously getting into shape and just figuring out how to, look and feel good on the in and the outside. And I was like, nothing's still triggering. We had the worst car accident of my life. Totaled my car. My mother saw the whole thing. It was a
awful.
nightmare.
It was a nightmare.
Let's just say
we were driving to the gym.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you the story really quick so you know. But we were driving. She was in her car and I was in mine because she had an appointment after we were leaving the gym. It was 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I was in front of her. So she was behind me. I took a left turn at a light, and she was following. And I looked in my rearview mirror, and all of a sudden she got hit so hard that her car flipped, spun out, glass everywhere, and I saw the whole thing. And my body froze for, I don't know how I stopped my car at that point because I was screaming, Jesus. I immediately was screaming because I didn't know when I got out of my car to walk over to her car if she was alive. And I didn't think she was going to be. And I was screaming at the top of my lungs. And I walked over to her car. Here she is today, obviously. It was a miracle.
I will never
She's alive.
forget.
But we can get into more detail of the accident. But this was a pivotal moment for you and me. In our faith.
Yes, it caused me to just slow down life. It was.
Thank God.
I was too.
Thank God, slow down. She has a little bit of a lead foot. I'm not gonna lie.
I working on it. But seriously, in a way of, I was living too fast. I was going too fast. I graduated college. I thought I had it all figured out. I was reading my Jesus Calling every day. I was doing all the right things. I thought, at least, and. It was after when I had moments with him and just my own thoughts. It was one afternoon after my accident. I couldn't really do much. I had a concussion. Thankfully, that was all besides the blood. But it was totally, he was with me. I felt his presence there in that car. Mom, you put on Elevation Worship.
So I found on YouTube, Elevation Worship.
One day in the living room.
One day out of the blue, never heard of them, and I needed peace because I was trembling every time I went to bed, reliving the accident in my own head.
It's like the PTSD, I had that sound.
And it lasted almost 2 years for me. I didn't talk to you about it, but I had a very hard time with fear.
Yeah.
And we can talk about that later, but I found Elevation Worship, and I called her downstairs. I said, just listen to this song. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And it was called Jireh.
Jireh. Oh.
And life just took a turn.
Yes.
We had that peace, and it was beautiful.
We could have been so angry, and this is God for you. We could have been so angry about this whole situation. I'm
not going to lie. I was angry for a hot second with God because I couldn't believe that after, I'm like, I lost my mom. I'm trying to get my life together. I know it was a few years later. Why did I have to see you crash? Why did I have to see you get hit that way? Yeah. And I had struggled with that, you guys, for a while. But that's not, I want to say something on that, and I don't mean to interrupt, but it's not our job to question God.
Right.
And it's not our job to try to figure out why things happen to us. Our job is to get into prayer and ask him to walk with you through the fire.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Through the fire.
Yes.
And that's what he was calling me to do.
Yes.
Kelley, stop focusing on the problem.
Right.
Focus on me. Stop facing your fear and focusing on fear. I was focusing on that.
You're scared. Pivot that. We took now a passing of a mother and a grandmother, a tragic car crash that I am, God, happy to be on this planet today. And instead of both of us going into a depressed state for the rest of our lives, we are here
Which is
today,
easy to do, mind you.
Which is so easy. And,
it
and
is.
That's the easy route. That's the route most people take because
you don't
caught
have
up to pick back up and
pity.
Right. So this is why I'm going into the extent of even my car accident, is because this very moment, I took that as, hey, I got to get my stuff together, pick myself up. God just gave me this huge accident, but he created time with himself.
But he didn't give you the accident. He gave you an opportunity to get closer to him.
This accident happened, and it created time, opportunity to sit, to be with him. Taylor, you're not going to sit down if I don't do something that's going to make you sit. That's the way I take it. Every instance, every circumstance that happens, it's not, your circumstances don't define you. It's the way you act on them. How do you respond to them in the godly way that he wants you to? Now, I was with him for the next 2-3 months. Jesus, what am I supposed to be doing? I thought I had to have this fitness plan. I thought because my grandmother couldn't exercise, I was supposed to help teach these women how to exercise and feel comfortable in their own body. It took me almost a decade to realize, no, Taylor, you have to talk about me, Jesus, leading back from where I was thinking about myself and what I thought was right. No, it was a total, complete shift in my prayers even. I went from praying, Jesus, I need to get an A. I need to do this. I need to do that. You need to put me with this guy. I don't want this guy to. God, there's 2 paths. Please, Jesus, pick the path and guide me on the path that you want for me. And the second I switched my prayers and that shift into, what do you want for me, Jesus? It was like the blue-colored glasses of our or brown-colored glasses of this awful world came off, and it was like bright yellow. And golden-colored glasses of Jesus.
They were gold glasses.
And he was like, Taylor, focus on me. And I've been focusing on him. And
ever since,
when Mom saw that I really had a strong passion of God, you said, hey, we got to showcase this for the rest of the world.
That's exactly what happened.
Exactly
and
it.
It's so beautiful that what we went through together with the accident brought us here to this day. So whatever you are going through, if you've been through something so traumatic, hang on tight. Find strength, knowing that God is in control. He's got you.
There's something better.
Get you through it. There's something better. There's possibility.
Your faith,
Put your trust in him alone, and that's how you will get through to the other side.
Like once you surrender those fears, it's like everything, it's over for everybody else. Like
it is.
It's over.
You walk differently, you talk differently. Listen, I don't consider myself a holy roller. Like I just consider myself a prayer warrior
Yes.
who will not back down to evil tricks that the devil's trying to play on me every moment of my day, every moment of my hours. I'm going to put that armor on. As we mentioned in episode number 2, or episode number 1, we talked about the armor a little bit, that we have an opportunity to armor up in the morning before we face the day. We don't know what the day will bring. We just don't. But all we know is that God is ready. He's walking alongside of us.
Yes.
He's walking in front of us. We're fine. He's walking next to us, and he's walking behind us. And he brought us to this very moment through that accident.
Yeah.
And he knew, because listen, Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Plans to prosper you." He knows the future. He already wrote out your path.
Imagine not worrying about your future. Imagine, guys, just not worrying about it and surrendering your fears and everything to him.
I think that's, if you take away anything from this episode, it's imagine waking up without the worry and the fear of your day ahead, knowing that it's in his hands. When you release that, you can do all things. Right? Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's my life verse to get me through the moments. And I'm sure, you know, it's yours too, as we know.
Even so, guys, I'm at the gym. I'm doing the stairs. I want to hit 10 minutes. I'm just so lazy. Or if I'm doing my sprints and I'm trying to hit my PR, Jesus, only me and you can do this. I lean on him for literally everything. I go, Jesus, I go, get me through these last 10 minutes on the stairs, or I'll ask him to do the most, what I think is impossible for me. I'll be like, all right, I'm going to go to 11 now on the treadmill, and we're going to sprint for 1 minute and 30 seconds. My legs are
Whoa, that's fast.
And I say, Jesus, it's me and you. I gear it up on 11. I get going.
Just don't fall off the treadmill, please.
I scream internally. You guys have no idea how much I lean on this man. I scream, Jesus, we're doing it. We're getting there. Lee, my roommate, looking next to me at the side, going like, is she okay? I go, Lee, and the probably whole gym can hear me. I take my headphones up. I go, you have no idea. Oh my God, I just had the best sprint with Jesus. No, like you have no idea. Like
that's the beauty of Jesus.
But it's fun, guys.
It's so
like
true.
That's a little example of just how fun it is. You're never alone. I'm like,
it's fun.
Let's hit our PR today. Like,
let's do it.
Like it's just like amazing.
It is the walk with Jesus, knowing that you're chosen by Jesus. I mean, let that alone sink in.
Oh my God.
I mean, the reason why we named this show chosen by Jesus is because when you come into relationship with him, he chose you.
Yeah.
You're chosen.
And he listened.
And you're set apart. You were not created to be average.
No.
Don't walk average. Walk with him, and he will open doors, and he will bring you possibilities, opportunities, a clear vision.
Yeah.
And you won't have to worry.
Not at all.
Don't worry.
I can't.
What's that?
I don't know this old one.
No, it's on the Christian channel now.
K-Love? I don't know.
No. I actually listen to Mandisa Radio on Pandora, and they play all my faves.
Oh my God,
it's
Overcomer.
The best.
That's
my favorite.
One by her.
Anyway, I love that you said that. The accident made us stronger. Don't let your circumstances define who you are.
No.
They are things that we go through, but Jesus will hold your hand through it all to the very end.
When you have these circumstances that you may be questioning too, a good kind of thing that I would like to say is take those as an opportunity to learn something about yourself, the world around you, whatever it is. Say, why, instead of saying, why did this happen, Jesus, maybe say, open my eyes to what can I take from this? Always, the cup is never, in our world, never half empty. Thank you. Always half full. The worst experiences, the worst circumstances. What do you want me to learn from this? Everything happens for a reason. What is that reason in that moment of time? Jesus, you know, like
I think it's about finding the goodness in everything, and that's a very hard thing for people to do. It really is.
Look at everything.
But with Jesus, you can. So I suggest writing to him, journaling with him, getting your feelings out on paper can take you so far and over the humps of life. They really can. It's really hard to do it alone. But when you start writing to him and saying, what do you want me to know today? I say that a lot to him. I say, what's funny?
Guys, I don't mean to be like, I just have to be real. If anybody notices, I put press-on nails and one just popped off, so it's like
I'm wondering why I'm talking and she's laughing.
I know.
I mean, she starts laughing. I thought it was what I was saying.
No, because I know she's
about
gonna be
journaling.
Like, you didn't get those all good before this.
I'm going to yell at her and say, why weren't your nails done before we got here? Why are they not secured?
This just popped off. You can resume.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so journaling, though, for me, took me from when I say sparked my faith in a whole new way. I went on fire when I started journaling, and that's why I wrote my second book called The One Prayer.
Which I highly recommend, yes.
I highly recommend it to people. If you don't know about The One Prayer, look it up on Amazon or anywhere where your books can be found, and I'm only plugging it because it actually changed my own life.
Well,
when I started writing out my visions, what do I want to happen week by week?
It's a good stepping stone, too. What I like to say is for the people that haven't even started praying yet, to have a journal, to be able to reflect back on what you talk to God about, that's something special. You know, I wish that I had your prayer journal before, like at least a year ago, because that's when I really started to get in tune. But to have all of those prayers written down, to go back, it's, guys, if you haven't gotten that book yet, it's just such a good, because you could have your own notebook and try to write in it, but your journal gives prayers, and just the way it's set up is so, it's amazing.
It's the putting best, your prayers into action, too.
Like but whatever it is, the best $16 you could spend on yourself. It's real value. It's way more valuable than what the dollar is.
I think the value is in the pen to the paper.
Yeah.
It really is. Whether you do buy the journal or not, it's really about put the pen to paper and watch what happens and watch what takes place in your life. When you write, like Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision on so it's clear. So I have been writing what I want to see in my life week by week. And going back to the accident and in finding purpose, I would write, Lord, show me which way to go.
Right.
Walk me through the doors that need to be open for me. Present opportunity for me. And I write it all down. And then I go back as he opens the doors, as he opens opportunities. And I thank him in the journal because it's so important to keep track of what you're praying for, not forget.
Right.
And just know that your prayers first of all, your prayers are heard, but they will be answered in his timing.
Right.
Just don't lose sight of that.
Never.
Whatever you're praying for, like the accident you talked about, we prayed for God. Don't pray for God to stop.
Right.
Pray for God to walk you through your pain. That's important for you to know and take away today. Don't pray, we want to pray our problems away.
Right.
We want to microwave them and be done and move on. But pray for God to walk through your problems with you. We live in a problem-filled life. And unfortunately, you're going to find you'll have a problem maybe in another hour or tomorrow. And that's just life, how it happens. But ask God to help you, walk you through it. And that's, I think, the message today. And he will show you clarity. He will give you clarity. You'll find your purpose in him. And I love that. And speaking about prayer, as we come to a close for this episode, and I do want to make sure you guys, please, this is a new show chosen by Jesus. We want you to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Share it with your friends. Follow us on social media. We would love to get this and create a ripple effect in the world for people just to know the Jesus we love.
Yes.
That's it.
Give us your prayer requests.
Give us your prayer requests. Yes. Tell them about what we're doing here with the prayers.
Like to piggyback off of the first episode, we're basically just wanting you guys to, whether they're big or small prayers, tell us what's on your mind, tell us what you need help with, what you're currently going through, and we would love to just pray at the end of each episode. We'll pick a prayer.
We'll spotlight.
However we do it, we'll spotlight that one prayer and hope that it creates that ripple effect and that the people that are listening will be praying too for you and whatever you're going through. And as we continue, maybe we could have more prayers and we'll figure it out. But for the time being, we'd just love to touch one person, a podcast episode, a prayer.
And today, we recently found out over these past few months of a tragic accident that happened in our state, Massachusetts. 2 boys were visiting. They were going to a wedding, I believe, and they were college kids, brothers. They're brothers, and they took a bike ride, on bikes, like bicycles. The 2 brothers, and they got hit and killed. And my heart just goes out to the family, and that's who we just want to pray for. Look them up. They're from the Boston area. I think it was Johnny and Matthew.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to we're going to end this episode in prayer, hold each other's hands. I'm holding Taylor's hands with her 9 nails. But Lord Jesus, we're just asking you to continually bring that family peace and comfort that they so need. Give that mother and father, their family members, the strength to go on, Lord, and use this story for good in some way. We're just asking you, Lord, to touch that home and give them all the love. Let them feel your presence, your mighty, mighty presence, Jesus, because you're the only thing they can rely on in this grief, tragic, awful, awful time that they're going through. So we're just coming together in prayer and in your supernatural power to just break chains and alleviate them and give them comfort and peace. We love you, Jesus, and we thank you so much for hearing our prayers. And thank you all. Amen. Thank you all for tuning in and just being in agreement with prayer for that family, because Lord knows we all need prayer, and we need to continually create the ripple effect. Yeah. Well, guys, we are so excited for you to be here and that you tuned in. Tune in every week. We have so much in store, so many great things happening.
Don't forget.
You're chosen by Jesus. See you guys next week.
See you guys.